a TEDx talk, and Christina was like, just do your TEDx talk. I'm not ready to present my TEDx talk, so I'm going to do a talk that I normally talk and do on stage. And I usually have this beautiful presentation, but it's not here right now, so we'll just figure it out. But what if I told you that 1 in every 5 small businesses fail? How many of you truly believe that you're a small business? Please raise your hand. You're a small business, right? You're an entrepreneur. We all own our own space. And so one of the biggest challenges for me, I got licensed in 1996 to sell real estate, and I started as a receptionist at 18 years old. And so I'm probably one of the oldest people in the room, if not the oldest person in the room. And so those of you that are moms, I want you to think about turning your 18-year-old child loose with a driver's license, $650 in their pocket, no GPS, no cell phone, and to put them on the interstate to drive 4 hours. And that's what I did. And so I left Southern Illinois. I was a farm girl with $650 the day after I graduated high school, and I drove to Nashville, Tennessee, and I was going to be a law student. But I wanted to go there and get acclimated for the summer. And so I was checked into an extended stay for $135 a week. And the payphone was outside, so I called my mom, collect, and said, hey, I'm here. How about that for those of you that have never done have a house phone? Like Amanda, who doesn't even know what a house phone is. Okay? But, you know, call, collect, and so my opportunity was going to be to go work at an Opryland theme park. If you know anything about it, there used to be a big theme park called Opryland in Nashville, Tennessee, so I was going to work there for the summer. And then I was going to go into school in August, and I was going to school to be an attorney. And I went to Opryland dressed to the nines with my directions literally written out on a piece of paper because I had a paper map and I did it the night before. And they said, oh my gosh, we would love to have you, but we're on a wait list. We've already replaced all of those opportunities. And I said, okay, so I went back to my extended stay, called my mom collect for the second time in 2 days and said, what am I going to do? And she said, don't come home. She said, this was your dream, was to go fly, get out of here. And so she said, find a temp agency and work there for the summer till school starts. And that's what I did. And my temporary agency placed me in a receptionist desk on the weekend in a real estate office. And so I love it when the market goes up and down, as he was talking about, you know, there's dips and there's valleys, and people would always come to me like, what are you going to do if the market doesn't come back? I'm like, I don't have an option. I worked at Dairy Queen and here. Like, I'm not going back to Dairy Queen, so I will figure this out. And so when it comes to resilience, building a business from the ground up, as a lot of us are in that new transition of doing that, how do we, you know, stay strong, but more importantly, how do you build a profitable business? And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about today, because the money piece is the piece that nobody tells us about. They're like, hey, just get a credit card and put it on a credit card, and I did that. They said, oh, just borrow money against your house. I did that too. And when I woke up in 2005, I was in fear mode. Like, my husband lost his job, we had no health insurance, and we had a small child, and it was like, you know what, it's sink or swim for me. I gotta figure this out. And so, my husband, God love him, 30 years, said to me, you work too many hours. You go into the office, and you come out, and we're all in bed. And this was when there was fax machines. So some of you that don't even know what a fax machine is. So I would go into fax a contract, and I would come back out, and everybody would be in bed. That one fax was 3 hours into our business. You guys can all understand that, just what he was talking about with social media. You can get sucked in for 2 hours. You're like, I should do this, and I should do that. So he asked me to save our marriage to remove my computer from our home and to take it to my office. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm like, what are you talking about? That's my crutch. You're taking my crutch away. But I thought, marriage, career. I should probably move it out. So I moved it out. And then I had that guilty tear that some of you may have is, I need to be a mom, but I'm serving these clients and my passion. And when I go home, I'm thinking about work. And when I'm at work, I'm thinking about home. And how do I figure it out? So I would tell my husband, I'll be home at 5:30, and I get home at 5 after 6. Dinner's cold, everybody's pissed. You guys can all relate to that. And I kept saying, you don't understand, I'm pursuing my dream. This is my passion. And he said, at what cost? At what cost? So I tried to do better, and I would have down, have some bad days. And so one day, I really do not know where this idea came from, so please don't judge me. And if you read my book, it's all in there. But I knew I had to go home, but I also knew I had to get back and take care of what I needed to take care of, and I didn't have a computer at home. So I'm driving home, and I'm like, if I park my car outside of the garage, and I go through the garage, but I turn the chimer on the security system off, when everybody goes to bed, I can sneak out. And so I thought, this probably could work. Because if they're sleeping, they will not know I'm not in the house. And I go home and I'm the super mom with the big S on my chest. And then I go back to the office and I'm a big, wonderful, badass realtor with the big S on my chest. I'm servicing 2 masters at the same time. So I thought, you know what, I'll try it. What's the worst can happen? I'll get busted, right? I never snuck out of the house as a kid, so I don't know where this even came from. But so I went home, went in, did the dinner thing. Everybody was happy. Everybody went to bed. I get on my pajamas. I lay down with my husband. He starts snoring. I get up. I shut the door. I put on my flip-flops. I go out the back door. The chimer doesn't go off. I go get in my car, and I drive away. And I go to my office. And I got away with it the first day, and the 5th day, and the 20th day, and the 50th day. This went on for about 6 months. And I would work till 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. And I would drive back, sneak in, lay down, sleep for an hour, 2 hours, get up and do it all over again. Fear mode. Fear. Fear drives us, ladies. And so one day I came home and I had to go back to the office. I was like, oh, gotta get back there. So I parked the car outside the garage, came in the house, and my son, if you ever talk to me, you'll know that I'm the proud mom of a 27-year-old, and our son's Corey. And so I come in, and the house is silent, and I'm like, hey, where's Corey? And he says, as I'm about to touch the security system to turn it off, he says, don't turn the alarm off. I'm like the cat who ate the canary. I'm like, oh, hey, honey, how's it going? Right? We sneak in, like when you guys got busted by your parents. And he said, you need to have a seat.
This is your kid?
My husband.
Oh, your husband.
I'm like, where's Corey when I got busted? And he's like, you need to have a seat. And so I sat down and he said, we have a problem. He says, you don't think I know where you're going. And you don't think I know what you're doing. And something's got to change. And you have 30 days or I'm out. I never knew how I got busted. I didn't know if he really knew where I was or if he thought I was cheating on him. I had no idea. And so as a believer, I prayed and was taken to the core training, which we were talking about earlier, which is a coaching company. And I walked into my first day at the event, and there was a guy standing on the stage, and he was like talking about time management. And he said, if you don't respect your time, no one else will. And that was life changing for me. I was like, okay, I gotta go home and fix this. I got 30 days, time's ticking, right? So I hired this coaching company. I couldn't afford to hire them, and I could not afford not to. I thought that I was really great. I had all the plaques on the wall. I was #1, and everything was great. And I hired this company to help me save time. But what I didn't know is I was 1 bad month away from bankruptcy. And I had almost taken my entire family down with us. And so social media wasn't a big thing for me back then. Still not a big thing. I'm learning every day. But I was a relationship person. So if somebody said, hey, you should buy the billboard, I was like, yes. $1,200 a month. Well, then you should have 2, one going the other way too. I'm like, yes. Now, who the hell thought that was a great idea? Somebody going 80 miles an hour down the interstate could read my phone number that was this big. But hey, somebody said I needed it, so I did it, right? So I had billboards. I had a moving truck with my face on it. I had my face on the pharmacy bag. I sponsored every baseball team. I had no idea. I checked, so I didn't know I was going in the hole. So one of my first assignments with coaching was, what does it cost you to run your team? And quite honestly, I was irritated. I was like, that's very offensive. Why do you need to know how much it costs me to run my company? You're going to save me time, right? No, what he was doing was saving my marriage. So my first assignment was go home and write everything down. And this is really what I want to share with you today is the money story. Because if you're not tracking what you're spending, you could be in a lot of trouble quick. these things add up. I mean, if you're blue check marking and you're MailChimping a newsletter and you're buying ads and you're doing this and you're doing that. And before I knew it, when I had to write everything down, I was spending $40,000 a month.
Oh my
And I
God.
had no idea. No idea. So I want you to think about, you have to make $40,100 so you can take 100 home because the company had to get paid first.
Did your husband know all this?
Nothing.
How did you pay for it?
So I got on a P&L, which is what I was going to talk to you guys about today. So I talk about this, it's a long story in the book, but the very first thing is you have to track everything. And so my TEDx talk is about women CEOs having financial strength. Listen, financial stability has to start with us. And I love my husband, and he has been a champion and a cheerleader for me. But by golly, it's my money, and I'm going to make it, and I'm going to know where every daggum dime is going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to know how to invest it. And so that is my passion, is to really help women know that you can make all the money you want. But if you're not keeping any of it, what in the world are you working for?
Yeah.
And so in 2006, I turned it around. I had $147,000 in IRS debt. I was spending $40,000 a month before my family made a penny. And I just started slashing contracts. I canceled all my contracts on the moving trucks and everything. And the easiest way I can tell you to track it is all your expenses on one piece of paper and all your income on the other piece of paper. And no income is too small. If you sell a book for $20, put it over there, it's $20. If you're spending $11.99 a month on that, put it on this side. That's the easiest way. If anybody wants the form that'll auto-populate it for you, all you have to do is email me or DM me. I will send it to you. It'll auto-populate for you. But at the end of the day, you gotta track your expenses, you gotta track your income, and more importantly, you gotta pay your freaking taxes, right? And I will say this, and somebody in the back of the room might throw an egg at me, or Amberly might be throwing an egg at me, she sees me. But I'm privileged to pay taxes. Because at the end of the day, it means I'm profitable, I'm successful, and I always heard as a realtor, write everything off, don't claim anything. BS. I'm calling BS on that. Listen, if I net $1 million damn, I want to pay taxes on $1 million damn, and you should too, right? I mean, that's just who we are and what we should do. Take your write-offs, I get that, but at the end of the day, if you're not tracking your expenses and you're not seeing if you're profitable or not, what are you working for, right? So I will tell you, the form is super easy. How I teach it, again, is very easy, separation, but more importantly, separate everything. So you should have a business credit card and a personal credit card. You should have a business checking account, you should have a personal checking account, and you should have 2 savings accounts. Your personal savings account is where we move all of our extra profits and all that stuff, but your business savings account is actually a tax savings account. So when you do this P&L, it will have at the bottom for you to plug in place what your tax bracket is. It can be 25%, it can be 31%, it can be whatever your number is from your CPA. You will plug that in and it will auto-populate how much taxes you owe on the income that you made for the month. Take that money right then and move it over to your savings account. So when, your business savings account, so when your taxes are due, you just scoop all that money out and you send it to the IRS. Listen, the IRS doesn't play. Their penalties are brutal, and if you want to be profitable, then don't get behind on your taxes because it will eat your profit for a really, really, really long time. So I'll share that form with you. Hopefully those are easy tactics, but I want to take all that one step further. So in 2010, 9 and 10, the market busted in Nashville, and I was on the high of my career at the time. Had all this new construction and was just blowing and going. And one of my biggest builder called me one day and he said, hey, meet me at the model home. I said, okay. So I met him at the model home and he walks in, he's got a Ziploc bag, probably like a gallon-sized bag, and there are all these keys and they all have tags on them. And he's like, hey, here you go. I'm out. And I'm like, well, where are you going? I thought he was going on vacation or something. He said, I have mortgaged my house. I have sold everything I can sell. And you know, my wife's gonna leave me and I'm done. He's like, good luck. And he turned around and walked out. I had 109 listings at the time. And I started crying. I'm like, oh my God, I've just figured out all this money thing and I'm finally on a track that I can get paid, and this man is walking out and the market is collapsing. So I went home, I told my husband, like, we're in trouble. We're living in a big house on 6 acres, kids in public or private school. And he said, we have two choices. You can take today and sulk, and we can lose everything. Or you can take today and pick up the phone and start calling banks. He's like, those subs need to get paid, and you need to get paid. And he said, those people want to buy houses. He said, there's still going to be people that are going to buy houses. In the worst of times and the best of times, houses have to be sold. So I took that day and I sulked a little bit and cried in my milk. And the next day I called the bank and I said, hey, Jim McCann, Avenue Bank. I knew he had about 60 of them listed, financed. And I said, can I come and meet you? And he said, yeah. I sat down and I said, here's the keys to your listings. And he said, okay. And I'm like, you know Jimmy's gone, right? And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, these houses have to get finished. What are you going to do? He said, I don't know. I said, well, I guess I can be a contractor. We can finish them together. He said, let's do it. So I became a builder.
I love it.
You create your own inventory, ladies.
That's it.
You create your own
That's
inventory, right?
Yeah.
You create your own clients. So I started calling all the subs. I had them on speed dial for walkthroughs, and I'm like, hey, you guys want to finish these houses? We're going to get paid. And so in 2010, when everybody had their worst year ever, 2009, everybody was begging to get paid. Money was flying in the door for me, and I was like, best year ever. Well, what I did is I turned my back on the things that had got me paid before that, which was my database. And totally ignored it. 2010 rolls around, all my houses are gone, I'm out of business. This is the problem that he was talking about earlier. When you're not in Instagram and you're not connecting with people and you're not furthering those relationships, when you're just taking care of what's in front of you right now, when that business is gone, you're out of business again, right? And so some of you may have already felt this, but I had like best month ever, worst month ever, best month ever, worst month ever. No inconsistency, right? So if you don't have inconsistency in the finances that are coming in, you can never expand, you can never hire, right? You never know if you're going to live in fear this month and expansion next month. It's too hard. So I will tell you, never turn your back on your clients so you get the consistent income coming in. But the last piece of that was 2010, I had no business. And I thought, gosh, we're out of debt, we're finally money in the bank, but now what do I do? So I prayed about it, went to my husband, I said, can I borrow $150,000 from our personal account? And he said, sure, honey, I believe in you. What are you going to do with it? And I'm like, I'm going to continue to get through this market because I lost all my business from being in the building business. So I took that $150,000 and I did not miss a beat. Every mailer happened, every employee got paid. We had client parties, we busted our ass. And I don't say this to brag, but we were talking about it. From that day forward, my business just boomed and boomed and boomed, and I, had 6 years of the best years of my life. And 2016, sold 363 houses in 365 days, sold my business and took my cash and retired. So I was 50 years old. And so I would just tell you guys, get the money right now, especially if you're new to your industry. It's the biggest gift you can give yourself is to have financial freedom and to have those reserves, because a rough patch is coming. We don't know if it's this year or 2 years or 10 years. If you face sickness, anything can happen, right? And so I would just tell you, money is the key to everything. So if we know that 1 in 5 new small businesses fail, what do we do not to fail? And I think what you're doing here and working with Amberly is so commendable, because there's a lot of places we could all be on this Saturday with our kids or whatever, and we're not. We're here working on being better. Third story I'm going to share with you, and then I'm done. I'll turn it back over to these guys. How many of you have kids under 18? Okay. There's a whole story in my book about money matters, whole chapter, and listen, this is a gift they're not giving our kids in school anymore. I mean, health is one of the biggest challenges we have, but the second is money. These kids have no concept of money. And I grew up on a farm. I got to see my dad I've been on the road. How many days have I been on the road? Today's 8 days. I've been in a suitcase for 8 days. I got to see my dad on Tuesday. He still lives in the house that he built before I came home from the hospital. I'm 55 now. And he's never had a mortgage. He had $15,000 is what he borrowed to build the house. He still lives in it to this day. And so, unfortunately, he didn't give me that gift of money. As you just heard, I had no concept of money. It was like I made it, it went in, and it went out. And I was bound and determined that my kid would not live like that. So my husband and I, at 12, he was 12, and I'd been in the Corps for several years. We were out of our financial roads, and I was like, today's the day we're going to teach him about a budget and how to live on a budget. And so the best gift I can tell you today is teach your kids about money, okay? And so our money story